Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And today should be, I believe, part 5 of Make a Saber with me. In this episode, we're going to be working on the handle. I got our pieces cut out here from a plank I found in our shed. It should work pretty well. We're going to do a full tang. We got our pieces right here. Lines up pretty nicely. We're going to start out with sanding on it. Maybe even getting our holes drilled through. I did go to the hardware store and got myself some pins. So we're going to use these to keep the wood attached to this, as well as some JB weld. You know, I'm not sure how far we'll get this video, but today we're going to start out with the sanding. Okay, we're going to get all this outer exterior stuff taken care of, get it a little bit smoother. It's not going to be like super fancy or anything, not yet. This handle is going to be really cool, I feel. Now, with sanding, for those of you who don't know, you need to like have different kinds of sandpaper, okay? Depend on the grit. So we start out pretty low, 80 grit, all right? We're gonna start out with that, go to town on that, then we're gonna go to 120, then to 220, and then finally end off at 400. Some people go to 600, but 400 is fine with wood. 600 is something that you'd be looking for if you're working with like a spoon. That way you don't like get some like unnoticeable little slices going on into your mouth when you're using a spoon that hasn't been hit with 600 grit. But we're going to start out with our 80. If I can get it out. It's like Velcro on this thing. There we go. Oh, and I also did some off-screen grinding, made it a little bit more polished. It does have a little bit rust up here, but it took me a while to get to a video. It'll be fine, you know, once we quench it, we'll grind it out again. It'll be perfectly fine. But we're going to start out with our 80 grit. I prefer to like fold it, that way I have a better handle on it, you know. It's still a nightmare to use. We're going to have to use this all around it. Every edge, every corner. We're just trying to get it smoothed out, ready for use. Oh boy. That's a lot. That's a big difference in comparison to this. It looks a lot smoother. We're starting out with the 80. Don't forget that part. Still got to do the other side and the other corners. And if I do end up messing up with these two pieces, we have like a butt ton more with this thing. I did the same thing when I bought the dowel pins. I got like 5 of them, even though I only really need 3, but that's if I mess up. Gosh, the most frustrating part about this kind of sandpaper is all the holes because it gets caught on the corners. It's so annoying. We're not going as intensely on this side because I plan on having this side right here face towards the blade. I don't need to like go crazy on it, just as long as it's a bit smoother, nicer, you know. It's a lot smoother, so much nicer. It just feels a lot more comfortable in the hand. Let's get to this other one. That way we can actually get some progress going. I don't want to clamp down too hard. This is still a bit of a soft wood. I don't want to ruin it. Might want to tone it down a little. I forgot that this vise is attached to my actual workbench. A big piece of advice I would give to anyone when you're working on anything that has like a limited source of material and it's kind of frustrating to work with in general, give yourself more to work with than less because you want room for mistakes. That way you can figure out what exactly you're doing entirely and you don't end up ruining it and having to spend more money than you already did. That is a lot nicer. Probably gonna do a little edit here just because, I don't think you guys are gonna want to sit here watch me go at this thing for about an hour with different pieces of sandpaper. It'd take a long, long time. So I guess I'll see you soon. Welcome back, guys. I finished sanding on this. I feel like I'll probably end up sanding some more off screen. Maybe. Not a guarantee. But right now, I would say that they are looking pretty nice. So these will be the parts that are facing outwards, okay? And these will be the parts facing inwards because we didn't need to sand them that much. Only the outsides, the sides, tops. This part, super smooth. There's a very big difference. I would say I think it'd look pretty sweet, actually. I think it's gonna be pretty nice. Of course, definitely not done. Definitely not close to being done. I can't wait for it to be though. It's gonna be pretty great. Uh, next part, I'll probably mark my where I'm gonna drill my holes in for the wood and the handle because we want to do that on the metal before we quench it because it'll just be a lot harder, way more difficult to get a drill bit through, but still got a lot more sanding to do on the handles to get it into shape to fit around it. We want it to fit nice and snug, very comfortable. Um, I'm sure some of you have definitely seen people use metal dowel pins, but once we get the holes in, we'll make sure everything is done. We'll get this quenched, okay? Handle will be taken care of, and of course we got our holes. And so what we would do is we would set up epoxy, like the JB weld that I was talking about earlier, all across the handle, um, and maybe just a little bit inside the holes as to where I'm putting the pins in. And so, of course, I'll get the pins in, then I'll align the wood over the pins, get them nice and snug on there, and then I'll start. I'm not entirely sure. I'll probably wait a bit for the JB weld to work, is the best way I could word it, and then I'll hammer the pins. They're already in there. I'm just gonna be like hammering them. That way we get the what's the word? Spread out. Because right now this handle takes up the majority of that whole pin, about half of it. So we're gonna be losing a lot of this wood here. But that's why I have a lot more wood. So I have room to make errors and room to fix it. But right now, probably going to get focused on marking out the pieces on my handles and then making sure they align with marking on this. All right, I'll see you soon on that part. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry it took super long or super short, depends on how I edit this video. I did take a while when it came to the sanding, drilling out the holes that I needed, and just trying to get everything to fit. So probably a short video. But of course, not finished yet. But this is when it's fitted on there. I have not put any finishing touches on. As you can see, it's super square. I got the pins in. That's why it took me so long because I just had to get the measurements just right. But I'll be doing a crap ton of sanding on this. That way we get it to fit on the exterior. That way we've got it like proper in your hands instead of just a big wooden box of a sword. But holy cow, I can't wait for this thing to be done. I'm probably gonna do some off-screen sanding, but It's so close to being finished, guys, and I cannot wait to see the final product. Okay? But I'll leave it from there. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching.